Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's market video. Since it wasn't a lot of movement today in the market, I'm not going to go over the S&P or the other markets. Everything is pretty much the same. There were no real movements, to kind of shift this direction one way or another. Bitcoin is still following kind of the same structure we've been talking about. Same for the S&P 500. So we need some decisions. We'll see if they're going to happen tomorrow or not. So I thought I'll take a few minutes and just talk about Bloom Energy here, just in terms of Elliott Wave structures and kind of how I'm looking, at the fourth wave, which I'm thinking is probably in progress here, and kind of what are some of the parameters I look for, and just some observation I have on this stock in here. Now, listen, I don't. This is mostly going to be like just like an kind of an Elliott Wave small lesson, little outlook, what have you for those interested. Let's kind of jump in. I don't really care about this wave one and wave two in terms of like the cycle. This is kind of irrelevant right at the moment. I mean, sure, this thing can go to $1,000. I don't mind, and I don't really care to say anything like that. But I just put these labels in here so I kind of have some sort of a structure. Clearly, if you look at this, a big corrective structure, like you can have a lot of fun trying to count this in some kind of a multi-complex correction coming all the way down here. But then you have what it looks to be in a wave one here, like almost like a expanding leading diagonal in here in a wave one. Then you pulled in a deep wave two. Then you have a nice sharp move in a wave one, then down in two into exactly the 61.8, which is kind of what you want to see for a wave two, especially when you're getting stronger moves. So you can see in here, we pulled here, and then you had a kind of a sharp move. I'm just going to kind of go through this a bit quicker. What's interesting to observe, it's as this wave three was finishing, and obviously in hindsight is a bit easier to kind of see these things, although if you have an RSI, you can kind of see how the market was in a trend, but then it's starting to get weepy, where you would have a first sell-off. That first sell-off is never really the top when you have a strong move. It's usually followed by another one, and then you kind of have several attempts at the high, all the while the RSI is kind of losing momentum. So as these moves are finishing off in here, you can see how the momentum, it gets lost, and then eventually leads to a pretty powerful selling in here. And if you kind of go inside and you count this, you can kind of see kind of how these moves unfolded in here. And you can even go in a 1, 2, 3, small 4, and up in 5 in an ending diagonal. You can even go like this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and although I don't know if this wave is bigger than this, but either way, that kind of overlapping structure was suggesting that the move is about to be over. And from the bottom in here, you can have a nice leading diagonal, 1, 2, then another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4, and 5, and then the final move. So you can. This is in hindsight, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but here's what I'm interested in for in this kind of fourth wave, and some people could be excited and say, well, goodness, it's found a low and it's rallying and it's going to go to a new high. It's possible, but I don't think that's going to happen. It could, and that's fine. But the reason why I don't think that is because if we're on a fourth wave, I think this is a pretty short. It's a pretty short wave, and let me just kind of get rid of this cursor. But first of all, I'm looking at time. So I will compare wave 4 compared with the wave 2, and I'm going to time analysis, and I'm going to look and give you a 4v2, so you can see in here that basically we haven't even hit 100% of wave 2, which is something that you would like to see for a comparison between a wave 4 and a wave 2. And not to rush and call the end of a fourth wave. So that's kind of the first thing I would look at. Then, so knowing this and knowing that there's more time on the clock, then I would go here and I would start to kind of look. Well, this is an ABC, the decline. Let me make this a little bit bigger in here so we can label that in an ABC right there. And then we're just going to say that the fourth wave, maybe, I don't know, January, maybe even February, who knows how much more this is going to correct, if it will. But if we're getting a next wave right here, in the prior area of the B wave, then we're going to look for more. So we're going to go and correct this and go in a correction and go, actually let's go in a complex, let's go in a combination, and we're going to go, this is going to be W, that's going to be an X, and that's going to be a Y. And now I'm going to take this, so the labeling here changes automatically, A, B, C, W, X. And then we're looking for another, this could be here, or it could, if this could be very simple wave A of X, so you can have, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in a wave A, and you do this, right? You go up and you do wave A, B, and C. So that would be wave X. This is where it gets, kind of funny and choppy a lot of times. And then this wave Y, we decompose this in another correction, and you go ABC there as well. So you can see now how, if you look at this and you look at the, just secure this so you can see all the labels. If you look now at this wave 2 and this wave 4, it kind of starts to make sense, right? That it could be something like that. Now, this was a pretty sharp into the 61.8. The next level I'm looking at is 38.2, 4 versus 4 versus 3. So I go ratio analysis, wave 4 versus wave 3, and that's 38%. So that brings it into about 62. Now we haven't gotten that low yet. We've only gone to, let's see here, let me go back, because I only think we've done maybe, let's see, 23%, well, between 23 and 38, but we haven't really gotten all the way down. So it's possible that we can go all the way here to about 60 in the next kind of leg down in Bloom energy before we move higher. So this is kind of one scenario that you could have, right? Then if the market doesn't want to do that, then we all know it could be a triangle. So we go here and we decompose this as a triangle. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give this one time to unfold. So we would do, this is wave A of a triangle. We're in the middle of the wave B. And then eventually, and this, usually triangles don't go to the 38.2, they stay at 23, maybe even less, but this would be another way where this wave 4 could unfold and still kind of fall into that 100%, maybe even a bit more. So bottom line, so that was a complex, right? And the reason I counted it as a complex is because the initial move of the highs, it's only in a 3-wave. So what starts as a 3-wave move? Either a complex correction, so either a regular zigzag, it could be done and we're moving higher, this wave 4 gets moved here, and you're pushing higher in a wave 5, and you just have a shorter 4th wave in time, something that's not it's not happening a lot, but that could happen, and you're making a new high in a 5th wave, and who knows how far that's going to go. We can talk about calculating a 5th wave, and I have videos on that. 100% of wave 1, certain multiple of a wave 1, certain multiple of a wave 3, a wave 1 through 3. So there's a certain way to kind of do the targets. Check out my videos on that. But as a 4th wave, if we're beginning with a corrective move, then again, it's either a zigzag, a double zigzag, so it would be an ABCX, ABC. It could be a complex correction or a triangle. And I've talked about I haven't talked yet about the complex correction because, not the complex, but the triple move, right? When you have WXYXZ, so you have a combination, a large combination. That would be, I'll show you this too, but this is an A, B, C, D, E, so of a triangle, because it starts in 3 waves. And then the other one is, it could be, think about this, right? It could be something like, look at this wave 2, how big this was, right? And how this in red, that was very large, but again, we're watching time. So let's go, and I'll show you this. I can do a combination. Let me see if I have, what is my triple combination here? I don't think I have it, but we can make this. combination. I know I have them somewhere. Hold on a second. Oh, they're right here. Hold on. I don't use a lot of those combinations, but Elliott Wave, and then combo, maybe this triple combo. Here we go. Okay, so just so I can kind of grab it from somewhere. So you go basically here, right? So now it's a three-wave move. Then you have an X wave. Then you have a wave Y. Then you have, and the thing is with these corrections, they're kind of mostly sideways. They're not that much in an angle. These these triple combos. So it would be something like this, right? It would be messy, right? Because you would go WX, then another Y, another X, and another Z. And sure, in the book, it's beautiful and everything. It's matching and the highs. But in real life, it's not like that. It's going to be all over the place, and you know, then you kind of have to go in and figure it out. But these are the corrective structures, and they're messy, and they can frustrate a lot of people trying to go long, go short, this, that, and the other. Bottom line, what I would take from this is that my number one issue right now with the Bloom Energy is that is the corrective move that happened from the top of the wave 3 is too short, and I expect further consolidation. So what do you do here? Well, there's strategies and options where you can do all kind of condors. You can do things that basically kill time, and you have theta decay in the option where you're basically getting premium to take advantage of a fourth wave consolidation. Some people could hedge, what have you, if they want to keep the stock. But bottom line is, now that you sold off in these three waves, you have a confirmation, that you're in a corrective move now. And sure, it could be completed, but very likely that it is not, and it was going to take some time here. So the other thing I could throw at you, which I haven't done yet, it's you could have what's called a running triangle. So just if you haven't had enough of these corrective moves, here's a triangle where you go down in A, up in B, C, D, and E. Okay, so this could happen where wave B, and these usually finish much higher. Wave B goes up there and fools everybody and says, "Oh my goodness, it's a wave 5, what have you," or and it's just a B wave, an ugly B wave, and then you go fall down, and then you do a triangle, and then you break. That's called a running triangle because B wave, it's about the origin of the wave A. So it's fun, right? All this stuff. So hey, thanks for watching today. I thought I'll just kind of talk a little bit about corrective moves here, and I think it's a kind of good stock to kind of take a look at that. And we'll see how we close next week. I mean, at the end of this week with the markets, and next week we have the Fed. So I'll be watching. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye bye.